Hello, dear friends. Here we are. Your thought, your life. 30 days of inner journey, and today's day 11. It's January 14th, 2017, and we are here with you in this beautiful inner journey to conquer new tools and new wisdom, new understanding to boost our lives. Not only here, but for immortality, right? For those who are entering this channel with us right now, the purpose of this is mostly for us to really calibrate ourselves in this new year and forever. Because this book, Thought in Life by Emmanuel through Chico Xavier, gives to us an opportunity to know the guidelines for this life and for immortality. It is a book that is used in the schools of regeneration in the spiritual realm. Before people reincarnate, they have an opportunity. But if you're asking if everybody has studied this before reincarnating, no, not everybody. But if you haven't, now it's here on earth. So that's it. That's how beautiful the mercy of God is. Now it's here with us for the single opportunity of studying these 30 short chapters that are deeply concentrated and need a lot of meditation and inner journey to really feel that these tools are at hand. Let's not forget what Jesus said. It's not enough to know the scriptures. We need to feel them. All right? So before we open with the reading of the chapter, let's say hi to our friends here, our international and online Spiritist Center. Oh, yes, it is. Hello, Jussara. Hey, we'll see you tomorrow in Washington, D.C., God allowing, for a beautiful workshop service on the Spiritist view on suicide. Jussara's going to talk about this and also mention her book, Those Who Left Behind, and Those Left Behind, and much more. And then we'll have fraternal counseling, and after the fraternal counsel we have the passes. So 2 parts for the service. Beautiful opportunity for everyone who is in Washington, D.C. at 2:30 p.m. Just go to ssvirginia.org and get to know information on Spiritism in D.C. All right? Hello, Raquel. Gratitude to you too. Adilson and Solange, Marilda, César, Angelina and Karina, our dear Karina from Brazil, Leonor, Edivanda, all of you are so dear to our hearts, and Melissa Missy, and Liz Delia. Where can you buy the book, Liz Delia? Go to the webpage of the Spiritist Group of New York, sgny.org, and order your book from there, okay? It's the easiest place to get your book. Thank you, Leonor, for your loving kindness of the hearts. And Valeria, can't believe you. You are here. And guess who is here? You know? Can you read my mind? Yes.
Hello, friends. It's beautiful to be here, connected to your hearts.
Yeah, thank you, Carol. Carol is here with us for this weekend of services. Right, Carol?
Right.
And so much to do, so much to study, so much to serve. And Carol and Mark are here. And they are also the hosts of the program Kardec for Kids at kardecradio.com. And beautiful, unique. I don't think we have this type of program anywhere in this world. Okay? It's unique. Unique because they talk to children directly. No middleman, no middle woman, no mom, no dad. Directly. It's beautiful. Just go there every day, every Monday at 3 p.m., right, Carol?
Right.
It's there for you. And it's been more than a year. They've been doing this wonderful work. Okay, Raquel is saying hi, and Edivanda is saying you're very sweet, and I agree. And Valeria is sending flowers and hearts. All right, ready, friends? It's a beautiful community, and we're here to deepen our understanding. As we finished yesterday the first third of the book, the first 10 chapters give us a foundation of how our minds create our lives. So we need greater understanding. And remember the beautiful message. Emmanuel finalized this first third of the book Thought and Life by saying, if we don't want to be shackled to our pasts, we must seek goodness. We must feel goodness. We must visualize goodness. And we must mold our lives to goodness. There's no other way. Okay? So now we begin a second third of the book. Okay? A second third, chapter 11. You see that there is a purpose why the second third has a particular sequence, telling us about life on the earth and how we can succeed. So this chapter will explain a lot about why things happen in our lives, and it will potentially, and it should, change the way we parent, change the way we feel about having children, change the way we feel about ourselves on the earth, etc., etc. So chapter 11 is titled The Cradle. The Cradle. Yes, that's where an incarnation or a reincarnation begins, in the cradle. Okay? That's very important for us, and we're going to begin this chapter by reading it. And let's read it as I share here with other friends in this beautiful book, and the opportunity for us to share. Many people have been asking us to share on our timeline, and here it is. All right. The Cradle. With the exception of special missions concerning spirits who come to bring reflections of the higher planes to earth, every birth that takes place now portrays the past of a spirit. The road we initiate in any new existence is the continuation of the road we traveled in previous existences. Scientific investigation on Earth has repeatedly failed to establish a biological linkage of beings. Geneticists look to the nuclei or chromosomes and cytoplasmic vehicles, as well as environmental factors and genealogies, as explanations to the problems of origin. Their investigations have naturally had some outstanding results, such as those touching on morphology and the wonders of adaptation. Yet, the scalpel of human investigation still cannot go beyond the physical. It dwells on the study of formation and stature, of pigmentation and blood types, all related to bodily lineage. That is because the labyrinths of psychic hereditary are, for the present, almost entirely inaccessible to the scrutiny of earthly intelligence. The fact is that germinating cells, like fertile seeds, reproduce our consciousness matrices in the subtle process of the formation of a new body. The predominant mental reflex of our individuality will be impressed on the fetal plate within the uterine chamber, or on all of the principles of germination which provide the foundations for a new physical body. This seals our destination for the tasks we're summoned to fulfill in the world within a certain period of time. We do not mean to give credit to absolute determinism for no one can abolish free will. Through free will, we institute the causes of suffering or restitution for our destinies. This takes place within a relative determinism in which we advance to higher forms of emotion and thought in the conquest of our supreme freedom. Through the death of the body, we return to the greater life, carrying with us the sum total of our deeds that are not always what we would like to have done. In many cases, the images we carry from our journey in the flesh are simply phantoms of guilt, the offspring of our own faults which will need to be adjusted and paid for. Meanwhile, they present to our senses a torturing hell where complaints and afflictions tumble in our minds. However, heavenly justice, through its mercy, allows us a new beginning. Thus we will come into contact again with our creditors and debtors for the settlement of debts we had contracted, which are perfectly annotated in the archives of divine laws. We're usually born on earth according to our debts or our needs. To this end, we assimilate the generic elements of those who blend with us and our ways. The problems of heredity, therefore, generally stem from the mental reflections that we carry. What really happens is that sometimes people with generous hearts and the will to endure sacrifice bring into their lives some suffering souls, thus temporarily carrying in their arms real challenges far below the level of progress already reached. Such exceptions, however, are the result of noble renunciations that through divine charity attract out of the nether regions old links of affections far removed in time. As a rule, however, our cradle in the world is a reflection of our needs. It is the duty of everyone reincarnated to honor it with work worthy of self-restoration, improvement, or elevation. We must also bear the certainty that we were brought or attracted to it in obedience to the problems we face in our regeneration or the stewardship we need to be able to readjust our future destiny. Ooh, wow, Carol. Yes. Mamma mia. Ooh. We need take it easy, Emmanuel. It's so short.
So profound.
So profound, right?
Mm-hmm.
The chapter is short, but deeply to the point, straightforward. And it's a rule of thumb. The good spirits, the more they are elevated, the more objective they are. And we need to learn how to express ourselves more precisely. They are objective because they are precise. We need to polish ever more the way we use our words, the way we choose the terms we're talking about things in general. And that requires instruction. And Emmanuel, in one of the chapters, in the first 10 chapters, he talks about the importance of education, the importance of instruction, and our responsibility to really refine our intellectual achievements, our emotional management, thus the spiritual as well. Okay? Ready, friends? Yes, let me say hi to Fábio. Hello, Fábio. Here we are, right? Thank you, Solange, for sharing the website of where people can acquire the book, sgny.org, the Spiritist Group of New York. They are the best source today where you can buy the book. So, It's interesting because in the first part, the 10 first chapters, it's all about the foundation of our mind, understanding the basics of our dynamics. Now, in the second part, as we are incarnated and reincarnated, we need to know the rules of these opportunities, okay? Aha. Hello, Giovanna. Welcome, welcome. And Rita Di Cassio too. So let us go back to the main highlights of this chapter. It's very interesting because in this chapter, Emmanuel does not sugarcoat it. He does not say, oh, birth, it's so beautiful. He's not poetic because it's responsibility. He's saying, birth does not serve any other purpose but to help us progress. So if you're planning on having children, think, am I open to work very hard to care for somebody and help them progress? Because that's why we have children. We don't have children as a certificate of maturity, because there are many people who have children and they are not mature. Animals have their, children too. Not necessarily they are even aware of what's going on, right? It's all about instinct and preservation. For us, at our level, birthing another life is responsibility. So, people usually, they look at it from the perspective of like, oh, it's so cute. It is in a way, but from the spiritist perspective, it's responsibility. It's deep responsibility. We all need to grow to another level and know that it's not only more work, but it's also responsibility. We have no right putting somebody in this reincarnation and not giving them the best we can to really progress. And I'm not saying physically the best, but emotionally and spiritually. So that's something we need to think about. He says, with the special exception of special missions concerning spirits who come from higher planes to earth, every birth that takes place now portrays the past of a spirit. Okay? So let's think about this. Every birth is a reflection of the previous life. Now, think about a new baby, a newborn, or somebody who is being gestated. Are you ready to be immersed or be influenced also by the choices this spirit made in the past? And I'm not saying this to scare anybody, but when we grow more mature, as Emmanuel is telling us, it's about time we know how things work. And we can't look at a baby and think, oh my God, I was hoping it was going to be easy. I was hoping, well, if you're a spiritist, now we know. It's not about that. It's not about raising a beautiful, cute child and sending them to school and they're going to get married and have children and have a life and their grandchildren. No, that's not why we have children. It's a chain of solidarity. That's what the birthing of a child represents. I'm giving a hand to somebody for several reasons so they can progress and help us progress together. It's solidarity, mutual solidarity. We help the ones that are incarnating and they help us in the exercise of parenthood, which is, it can be beautiful, but it's a lot of work, not only physical, but spiritual and emotional. And if people say it's not, it's because probably we're sleeping, dreaming, and Parenthood is not about dressing them nice and cutely, sending them to Disneyland, and making beautiful birthday parties. That's not what it is. Real parenting, as you know, is about what? Not my words, because I don't know anything. But go to the Gospel According to Spiritism, chapter 14, item 9. St. Augustine says, the mission of parents to connect their children to God. But aren't they already connected? Yes, we're all connected, but meaning consciously. Connecting our children to God consciously. How many of us actually have that conscious connection? Oh, but I tell my children to pray every day, but that's not what we're talking about. It's about dedicating our lives to God. Oh, but I don't want them to be a priest and a nun. No, but it's not about being priest and a nun. It's about being servants of God. That's the goal. Our goal is to teach our children to be servants of God. Not in being a monastery. When they go to school, kiss them goodbye and say, help people today. Okay? You're here in your school to help your teachers and help your friends. And help everybody in need. How old should they be for you to kiss them goodbye at school and say that? As the first day of their preschool, that's when you start saying it and meaning it. Every time you're here to help. Don't forget you're here to help. Don't forget you're here to be. Don't forget you reincarnated to serve God. Oh, but that's a lot of brainwashing. You know, it could be brainwashing of love. It's a loving brainwash, but it's not brainwash because it's the reality of life. They better know it sooner than later. We don't want them to suffer to actually know that that's the reason why they are born. They are reborn. So are we, right? Hello, Joycey, adorable mom. I know it's hard, but he says here, every birth that takes place now portrays the past of a spirit. They don't look like anything of the past because you look at babies and they look so cute, adorable. But observe, as St. Augustine says in this item 9 of chapter 14 of the Gospel, he says, from the cradle, he says, we can detect the tendencies of the past already showing up. And I would say, St. Augustine, you're so right that from the belly, the mother can tell. You can tell from the belly the many things that are coming for this spirit. The road we initiate in a new existence is the continuation of the road we traveled in previous existences. So who is this spirit that is reincarnating? Yes, loved. My practice as a parent is going to be to love them unconditionally, but I need to be realistically loving. Looking at them and saying, I cannot judge you, but I'm here to help you. Especially growing on the very things you need to progress. Not because I know any better, but because we're working together. As you work on it, I'm working on myself. As Mentor Joseph taught me to say to Virginia, Virginia, let's be patient because Mom is working on that too. Okay? Patience. Wait. Learn to wait. It's hard, but I'm learning. Let's learn together. We're not playing superheroes, super mom, super dad. We're playing what we are. We don't need to fake it. Okay? But he says, you and I are continuing a pathway we started before. Oh, therapeutic moment. We need it. The therapeutic moment now. Where do you think you've been before this reincarnation? Do you have any idea? No, we don't need to know the name. exactly where we lived, but in terms of our behavioral tendencies, our attitude in life. I'll give an example. If in this life I'm not tolerant, you bet that in previous lives I was enormously intolerant. Can you imagine the impact of that in many people's lives? Ay, ay, ay. Thank God I have a new name, a new home, a new body. Yeah, because some people potentially were upset. Others loved us, and vice versa. Where were we before regarding the many things we see nowadays? Can you tell? Can you tell where you've been in regards to your attitude in life? It's very important that we observe these tendencies of the past manifesting as old conditionings in the present life. What do you think? Is it possible? Is it too much? You don't want to be sad. Emmanuel is helping us. He thinks we're ready for this knowledge. Okay, 2,000 years ago, Jesus could not tell this. Could not. Jesus was not lying to us. Kara and I were discussing about this today, right, Kara?
Right.
We were discussing that Jesus, he didn't lie to us, but he couldn't disclose everything. It's like a teacher in preschool. They teach some things, but they already know there's much more. Are they lying to the kids? No. But how can they relay more information if they are not able to handle it? So it's all wise to handle it and to know what we're handling and to relay it to people when they're ready to. If Emmanuel is teaching us this, we're capable of handling it. But we needed to be very open to the reality that this life is potentially a continuation of previous lives. Where do you think you're continuing? Can you tell? It's very important. Where do you think you're continuing? Let me give another example. For example, if you like music and you sing well, or you play well, or you're a scientist and you love studying, it's very likely that in the past you have done somewhat that thing, or features of it somewhat, and now you're expanding. So each and every life an opportunity to gain new tools, refine old virtues, and gain mastery of them. Some other things are very so new to us, right? Aren't there things that are so like Greek to us in a way? We look at it, it's like, man, for some people it's about cooking. Like cooking is something else. I don't even know where to begin. So where do you think you were in previous lives? If you don't like cooking, you don't know cooking. Probably you never cooked. For many lives, I don't know, I have no idea. But we're just here hypothesizing, okay? The logics, right? And the things that we tend to gravitate very easily, potentially, we have exercised something similar in the past, and now we're gravitated towards it, right? Yeah, Lea Severo is very kindly sharing with us that chapter 11, 12, and 13 are related to the moral laws, the law of reproduction. You're so right, and we have been bridging it up with the Spirit's book and the Gospel. It said, thank you, Lea, for bringing that information to us. So here we are. He says to us that science thinks and proves that everything begins in the genes. It's like determination. It's predetermined. It's almost a fatality. You have genes and boom. This was written in 1958. You know, Emmanuel is so right that nowadays science already understands that the genes are not everything because they depend on the triggering of its activation. And the triggering of it depends on the environment. That's why nowadays science is changing its course and making us understand that there is another factor that we call epigenetics, in which the environment can trigger the activation or deactivation of our genes. So it's very important to us to know that if you have a gene for prone to activate something, it doesn't mean that you're going to end up developing XYZ diseases, etc. It will depend on the environment, and science already concludes that it's about lifestyle, it's about emotional choices, it's about thought processing. So if you go to the doctor today and they say you have the genes for X disease, don't go cutting the body parts as a prevention. Work on your mind. You know why? Because if you're afraid, you know, there's a famous celebrity that got to know she had this gene that would potentially lead her to breast cancer, and she did mastectomy. We're not judging. But the thing is this, if this is the whole story, the thing is, once we know the predisposition of diseases are in the perispirit and not in the physical body, cutting that body part is not going to solve the problem. Because the vibratory content is still there. And if it doesn't get to be expunged through breast cancer, it can be expunged in any other type of cancer. So mutilating your body to prevent it is not going to do the deal. Unless the doctors say it's already in the body. That's another story. But to cut a body part to prevent it is not going to happen. Why? Andre Lewis, in the book Evolution into Worlds, explains quite clearly in its second part, when he is asked about predispositions to diseases, he says it all begins in a grave mistake. Our conscience, because we know, question 621 of the Spirit's book, everything is registered in our conscience. So whatever we do goes through that filter of our conscience. And if it doesn't pass the test, it gets clogged. And as he says, Andre Lewis, it creates a nodule, a grave mistake, makes us create a nodule, a vibratory disturbance in our spiritual body, the perispirit. And it only gets to be expunged through a new reincarnation, where the physical body is going to receive that vibratory disturbance and get it out. Predispositions to diseases begin in the mind, not in the body. There are cases and cases of people who do bypass surgery, gastric bypass surgery, to eliminate their obesity, etc. And usually they end up becoming alcoholic and other types of addictions. Because addictions, the disturbances, the conditionings are not in the body. We're not saying it's not worthwhile taking these medical procedures. It is, as long as we work with our minds to see the root cause of those disorders. The body, as in the Gospel according to Spiritism, it says, when we talk about anger, Hahnemann says the body is not to be blamed for how we feel. Some people say, that's how I am, my body makes me do this. No. mind over matter. The spirit is enveloped by the spiritual body, the perispirit, and connected, the perispirit connected to the physical body molecule by molecule, as Kardec says. And thus, the physical body will manifest according to what the spirit is thinking and feeling. All right? So we cannot blame the body for anything. On the contrary, we need to care for this physical body. It's the first temple and the first and the last in a reincarnation. We get into it and we get out of it through death, and we should make it sacred. It's a learning experience, learning to listen to the body. As André Louis says in the beautiful book Evolution into Worlds, yet to be published in English, though translations are up and running here and there. What we know, and by the way, in the Spiritist magazine, every issue we have a chapter or an excerpt of the book published for you. It's been years that we've been doing this. But what we want to share with you is that André Louis mentions that the cells of our bodies are like little animals that we need to care for. We need to listen to them and ask them, what do you need? Is there anything I can do to help you? Are you tired? Are you hungry? Because we spirits may not be hungry, may not be tired, but the physical body is. And teach our children. You know, children have a hard time sleeping. That's the best time to teach them about listening to the body. They say, like Virginia, I don't want to sleep, I'm not tired. Say, Virginia, you as a spirit, you're not. But listen to your body. What is it saying? Is it tired? How about if we put it to rest so it grows beautifully and harmoniously and healthy? How about it? So it's like that constant awareness that the body is not us and we cannot enslave the body. We were not born to enslave the body. On the contrary, we were reborn to learn how to be loving and kind first to these beings that are ourselves and are receiving our command at each thought, each word, each feeling, and each action, and we have to be merciful with it. Do this exercise. Remember, we did that once. Put your hand on your chest and tell yourself right now out loud, I love my physical body. I love my physical body. I love my physical body. Can you feel the vibrations? Imagine the intensity of our feelings, words, actions, and thoughts in these little cells. How often we're so aggressive, we're so intense. No wonder we get sick. No wonder we're super drained, because we are not taking care of it, the pace of this temple, the physical body. Okay, pause. Hello, Howard from Ireland. Beautiful and joyful Ireland. Hello, Marilda and Clara. Hello, Clara and Sueli. Thank you, Clara, for your kindness. Breathing in and out. Remember the song? Yes, I can tell people are saying. The song from yesterday, Carol? Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is happy and well. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is happy and well. And I take care of my body and I love it and I care for it. Right? Yes, friends, we really, really, really do establish a new relationship with our physical body. And that doesn't mean sleeping more than you should, okay? That's not what we mean here. Rest more, go to a spa, do massage. No. The care begins in the mind. That's the spa of your mind, in my mind. So now we're entering the spa of the mind. Okay, we're gonna do the nails of the physical body. What is the nails? Yeah, manicure, pedicure, hair, makeup, massage. But with the thoughts. So, let's do the makeup of our thoughts, shall we? And the physical body is gonna receive it. It's gonna say beautiful thoughts, beautiful words, and the physical body is super happy. Of course it is. And then pedicure, manicure for the body. And of course we're talking about the spiritual body because it's the mold for the physical, right? How do we nourish the spiritual body? Vibrations. If it's hard to diet in the physical, imagine the spiritual. What is a good diet, Carol?
Positive.
Okay, Carrie's saying it. She has the diet.
Loving and positive, kind thoughts.
There you go. So that's the diet for the perispirit. The spirit, the mind, and the perispirit. Positive thoughts, as Carrie's saying. Good feelings. We must seek goodness, as Emmanuel. We must feel it, visualize it, mold it. Mind, spiritual body, physical body. Manicure, pedicure, makeup. Do you want it? Yes. How do we do manicure, pedicure for the perispirit? By using our will wisely. Because Kardec said, the hands of the spirit, our will, manicure, goodwill. That's the nail polish. What are you wearing today? Nail polish, goodwill. Right? Love it. Goodwill. What are you wearing? Oh, what is that color? Whatever color you like. I like pink. Why not? But it can be any color. Goodwill. Manicure, pedicure, makeup, hair. Whatever you want, friends. And for the guys, massage. Yeah, you like massage, it's universal, right? Men and women. Massage. It's not massage for the ego, but for the self. What is the massage? Humility. Humility. It's telling us, relax. Let the ego go. Because it's so difficult to feed the ego. The ego is so high maintenance. Don't you think, friends? The ego is so high maintenance. I tell you that. The ego is constantly, as Leon Denis says in the book After Death, it's so tiring to feed the ego. Because when we're envious, when we're jealous, we're always feeling like we have to compete with somebody, we have to do better than somebody else. But when we practice humility, that massage to the spirit that relaxes us. Let people do. They want to be better, wonderful. Because as they progress, we progress with them. As somebody's creating something new, we're like, wonderful, because we can use it too. It's not only for one person, it's for everybody. So we relax. We don't need to have the last word. We don't need to do anything. It's not worthwhile. So we relax. That's the massage of the spirit. Humility. Selflessness. I don't feed the ego. Oh, but I have to do this because I created it and I have to copyright it and I have to show and leave my trademark and show the world that I am the best, and when I die people are going to think of me. There are so many people who want to be immortalized. They suffer so much. Because when we discarnate, we'll see. It's not worthwhile. So the best massage is of selflessness and humility. Right? Right. Yes. Embracing love. Rudy is saying how thankful she is to your kindness. Carol. And here we have our dear friends. Let me say hi to Alcione. Yes. We will sing it again. Yes, Sueli. Daisy. Hello, dear friend. Aurora, hello. And let's answer. Hello, Webby. Clara is asking, how do we make positive thoughts to be constant? How do we turn it into a pattern? I don't know how to fight my own bad habit. Don't fight it. You know why? It's like this, Clara. I'm not saying because I know, but Mentor Joseph gives us this tip. He says, if you fight against something, you are actually doing it. So we don't fight against anything. To substitute a thought, Joana De Angelis says we need to have another thought. Because if I think, I'm not gonna think about this, I just thought about it. I don't want to think about this. You're thinking about it. So instead of saying this or thinking this, I start doing something else. That's why Emmanuel said we need to instruct ourselves. And books, he says in the chapter instruction of this book, Thought and Life, that books are dynamos to retrain our minds. And science, neuroscience, recently proved to us that when you're reading books, you're creating a new physiology, a new brain chemistry, a new pathway. Even your brain neuroanatomy changes. Brain anatomy changes, our neuroanatomy changes. So, no wonder Emmanuel said, Chico, let's write. Because through these books, we start creating the habit of thinking positively always. So you know what technique? Spread books throughout your house. Bathroom, laundry, bedroom, kitchen, living room, etc. Spread it out. Don't keep it in one place. I know people who keep their books enclosed in a specific closet elsewhere in the home. And they say, I read this book, I don't need it anymore. You know, books are treasure, friends. You can donate, but keep them for you too. Okay? Because these books, you think we're going to discarnate and there is a library in the lower zones? No. I've never heard of a library in the lower zones. So it's luxury. To discarnate and have books. Can you imagine when we discarnate? Live without books. So we better memorize. Do like the people from Guatemala. You know, it's interesting. It's not funny, but it's interesting because Edwin Bravo, many years ago, shared with us that in Guatemala, when he goes to places that are remote, they don't have books. Sometimes they have one gospel according to Spiritism for the whole village. So people, even children, they memorize it. They can say it by heart because they don't have the book available. So they absorb the whole book in their minds. And they have it in the core of themselves. Can you imagine? So we better read it. Because when it comes to the discarnation, libraries are only for those who have credit, bonus hours, hour bonus, and other things. Here, we take for granted. There, it's a luxury. So let's use it. Use it. Read it. You're thinking something negative. Now we have the luxury of our phones and tablets, computers. You're thinking something bad. Go read something. Listen to Kardec Radio. Listen to a beautiful Spiritist talk through a Spiritist network, whatever. Google it. Something beautiful, like we're training Virginia, Mentor Joseph says. Ask your children. Now we're starting this. She turned 3. Like, what are you thinking now, Virginia? What is your beautiful thought now? Coaching the mind. Ask yourself every now and then during the day, what is a beautiful thought that I'm thinking now? And then you're like, oh, what is it? And then you create it. Habits we create, right? And as Marilda is saying, discipline precedes a spontaneity. You're right. Hello, Rose. Hello, beloved friend. She's saying beloved, Carol. Patricia. Yeah, what you resist persists. Exactly, so we can't. Rudy, you're born in Guatemala. Wow, what a blessing. What a strong people there. The people I know from Guatemala, they're very strong. We're honored to have you here with us. Thank you. And Rita Di Casa says we have to be constant with positive thoughts and love all the time, always. Hello, Mary Edith. Yes. Thank you, Adilson, for sharing the news. Yes. Thank you, Clara. Thank you, Rita Di Casa, for bringing your beautiful attitude in life. Now, Emmanuel is saying, germinating cells like fertile seeds reproduce our consciousness matrices when we are forming the new body. In the book Missionaries of the Light by André Luiz, we have beautiful chapters about reincarnation. There is the reincarnation of the spirit named Segismundo, showing it to us. We have other books by the spirit Manuel Filomena de Miranda through the medium Divaldo Franco, giving even more specifics, saying that before the sperm cell encounters the female cell to create the first cell of our body, the mind of the spirit that is to be reincarnated emits these electromagnetic forces that is going to select the sperm cell that is going to win the race. It's not the fittest. That's why science has this missing gap to address. But we, the spiritist science, already know. It's about this mental command that is helped with the higher spirits attract the cells that has exactly the gene pool that we need to form the body. So when you have a child that is born with predispositions, don't feel guilty. You didn't pass the gene. I know couples who divorce because they feel guilty that their children were born with a certain problem, thinking they blame each other. But it's not true. We are reborn with what we need. That's what Emmanuel is repeating throughout the chapter. A reincarnation is about the need to progress. And if we need a machinery, a physical body, a physical temple with specific design, what a blessing. Mentor Joseph said to a couple a while ago, what do you prefer? That your child has this physical disability, or apparently physically able to do anything, but then when it reaches certain independence, they become criminals? What do you prefer? You prefer a restriction right now, or that they are free to go wild and repeat the same mistakes? Carol Correa is here with us, and she is better than any of us, a witness of this, and she can tell us a little bit, if you don't mind, Carol, because you give a talk about this, right?
Sure.
And she has been encouraging people to understand it from a new perspective. Carol, would you mind to share a few words?
The reason I sometimes talk about this topic is because this topic is very dear to my heart. I actually lived this experience in this reincarnation. I was born when my mother was 5.5 months along her pregnancy, and so I had cerebral palsy, and now I have the blessing of walking around with Mimi and Coco, my dear crutches and dearest friends, in the material plan besides all of you and our dear Vanessa. And I have to say that if I didn't have my crutches and the limitations, physical limitations that were given to me, I wouldn't be learning the precious lessons that I'm learning now. So I'm pretty sure that I would have incurred in the same mistakes that I committed before, because my limitations are my best educators, and I'm not afraid to say in public that if I were to choose my body again, I would choose exactly the same limitations, because they are the best gift that God could ever have given me. And even after I disincarnate, I will continue to be grateful for this blessed body. So thank you, God. Thank you, School of Life. Thank you, blessed physical temple, with the most beautiful conditions that could ever have been given to my spirit. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Carol. We're very grateful to Carol for her courage of sharing her intimacy, like the inner feelings of hers. And you know, I've known her for quite a while, and I can tell it's a lot to learn with her. As Carlos says, you know, she has a lot of patience in her heart and endurance. So it's very inspirational. And what a blessing, as she says. But each one of us here, we have our limitations. But Emmanuel, you know, actually has a beautiful message that we are going to publish in April, in the second issue of this year, the Spiritus magazine. It's about souls that are accidented. It's about disabled souls. Because the physical disabilities are already a way to say the person is ending with things of the past. We're expunging. The problem is when these disabilities are hidden in our soul. The physical body cannot pick them up yet, and we're not yet ready to expunge these vibratory difficulties. Friends, that is hard. When you look at your child and think, what do I need for the sake of my love for this child to help them be stronger in what kind of virtues? And find professionals to help them out. To help you out as a parent, as an educator. For educators who are working with children, we have the same responsibility. Okay? And Rita DiCassi is saying, let's sing a song for Carol.
Yeah, I have a song.
You have a song?
Yeah.
Okay, Carol.
I'm ready, willing, and able.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You have a song?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember?
Yeah.
I can share with you guys and Rita DiCassia a song that is an affirmation that my dear mother shared with me when I came crying home, because people used to tell me sometimes that I was not able to achieve the goals that I set for myself and that God blessed me with. So my mother taught me to dance. I'm not gonna dance right now, but dance and sing. I'm ready, willing, and able. 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 Ready, willing, and able. I'm ready, willing, and able.
Thank you, Carol.
You're welcome.
Wow. See? Ready? You're ready? Yes, willing and able. Yes, friends. That's life. As beautiful as it is. And, you know, believe it or not, as Carol is saying this to you, and I know many parts, you can listen to Kardec Radio's interview with Carol Correa. Just go KardecRadio.com. There's a search bar, Carol Correa. You're going to listen to her interview. But there are many moments in her life where people didn't believe. You know, she's a full-time faculty at the University of Delaware. Just think about it. I'm ready, willing, and able. What can't we do? Where there is a will, there is a way. You know, our goodwill is the makeup of the soul. Finally, Emmanuel, in this beautiful part of the book, the preciousness of our reincarnation and an incarnation, he says the problems of heredity generally stem from the mental reflections that we carry. So when we look at things in the body, we need to say, thank you, body, for helping me reformat my spiritual body. Thank you for the problems, the difficulties, the opportunities. Emmanuel is saying what really happens is that sometimes people who have generous hearts usually volunteer to help others. It's this chain of solidarity, receiving the souls of people who are deeply, deeply in need of a reincarnation, but will certainly be reincarnated in very challenging conditions. Are we being punished? No. We're being blessed. Only those who are really strong can come with certain challenges. When we see somebody who comes without challenges, it's likely, not without challenges, without major challenges, it's likely that they're so still fragile. They can't withstand the blows of major challenges. So if you are going through a major challenge, raise your brows to God and say, thank you for trusting in me. Thank you. May I be strong enough to really, fulfill what you're expecting that I fulfill in the conditions that we are. Thank you, Joyce. Yes. Finally, in the last paragraph, as a rule, however, our cradle in the world is the reflection of our needs. So if a baby is going to be born, don't be naive. Yeah, love your child. Enjoy it, but don't be naive. Don't be naive. This life is about progressing. Every life is. Are you ready? Do you have a plan? It is the duty of everyone incarnated to honor it with work worthy of self-restoration, improvement, and elevation. It's our duty. We have the duty to evolve in this life. Pause for a beautiful moment of reflection before we wrap up. How old are you now? No, don't tell me. Don't disclose, okay? Because we're much older, then we're gonna type it in here. If you say 44, 44 is just a joke compared to the many lives we have lived and the much time we have lived, right? Yes. So friends, do you feel you have evolved already for the much you have lived in this life? How much do you think you have evolved since you reincarnated? 0 to 10. Blinking, like the line, the scale 0 to 10. 0 being like didn't evolve at all, which is possible, stagnated. Or because we can delay progress, we don't regress, but we can delay progress as according to the Spirit's book by Kardec. And 10 being like, whoa, I'm completely different. I'm like, people will never tell Vanessa is the same person of the past. That's what I'm hoping. That the people whom I hurt look at me and say, no, really? Is that you? No. That's what I'm hoping one day. That they look at me now. Really? Really? And I say, yeah, guys, I'm different. I'm hoping. Are you hoping that too? Yes, that's what we hope. Right, Carol?
Right.
That we can repair the mistakes of the past. Look at, as Emmanuel is saying, all the debtors, the people we hurt in this life and previous lives. And say, I'm so sorry. but not only with words, with actions, feelings and vibrations, beautiful thoughts. Say, you know, my ignorance was so deep. I missed the boat. But I am making it up. No guilt, no shame. Just responsibility. Trash it out. Write down guilt and shame and trash it out in a post-it note like this. Guilt and shame, as pink as it is. To counterbalance, yes, I have Hello Kitty here. Yeah, why not? And that's for me, not for Virginia. She's not yet ready for a computer. But write it down just to counterbalance guilt and shame. Trash it out. Say, you know, responsibility. I'm responsible. I will make it up. I'm going to work on it. And I'm not going to stop working until the day I realize that I need to keep working. Then I continue working. Because that's the law of life. Right? We must also bear the certainty that we are brought or attracted to it in obedience to the problems we face in our regeneration or the stewardship we need to be able to readjust our future destiny. Look at ourselves, future, welcome, but the present. As Chico Xavier said, we cannot change what we've done, but I can start a new story today. Today, my friends. So powerful, the present moment. If people of the past, even in this life, look at us like, bah, don't believe a word. You don't need to believe in me, because it's not about me. It's about God. But I am awakening deeper and deeper to the reality of my life, the reality of life. Okay? So, how you're feeling? Yes? As all of you are sharing here, and Claire too, how many of us were stagnated? And then you feel emotional, and that's how we are, friends. Only God can judge us, and God doesn't judge, so nobody judges. We're loved, and we need to love ourselves. Love one another. Rebirth and birth, the new beginning, a new beginning. Let us give ourselves a new opportunity every day. And sing to your body, please, shall we? Shall we wrap up singing to the body? Yes, right, Carol?
Right.
Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well, including the spiritual body. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is happy and well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is happy and well. And so shall it be. Blessed temple, let us take care of it and work with it. Let us invite the body to each and every new day, renewing our feelings, thoughts, and emotions. Like Emmanuel said, we must seek goodness, feel it, visualize it, and mold ourselves to it. A big hug of gratitude tomorrow, hopefully today at 11 p.m., January 15th. What a beautiful day. Halfway through the month of January of the new year. And we're going to study about family. But don't go away, come back. 11 p.m. Family is family. And we are family to one another. Our universal family. Big kiss and hug of gratitude, and Carol too.
We feel the love, and the love feels good. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you, friends. And until later today.